Ekse, welcome to another episode of Sitting with Jele and Friends. So, on this one, guys, I didn't post questions on my story because, as I always say, what's in an comment and nan. So, serious, when comment. So I decided to see if I can be able to handle this like on my own, as I always do things on my own. So on today's episode, I have someone you guys have been asking me what's in letter. Not a lot of people have, but bazaars lab have been asking me what's in letter. And yeah, finally, I have
Finally.
her on the podcast. And it seems like it's gonna be an interesting one. I don't know, but we're gonna see what happens. So yeah, guys, on today's episode, I have Thendo. But then, as I always say, I don't love introducing my guest because then I end up speaking about a lot. But then, welcome, Thendo.
Thank you. Thank you.
May you please just introduce yourself to the people, okay?
Okay.
Tendo, but I know there's a full word for it, but then,
Yeah.
yeah, Tendo, Agabani, and all of that. Then I'll carry on.
I am Thendo A,
Okay?
Trinity Chikomba. I am 21.
Mm,
I am a mom.
mm.
I am a mom and I'm a student.
I believe that's why people wanted you to come here because
Yeah.
are interested in how your uncle and Dole.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a mom and a student.
But then,
Yeah.
yeah, on today's episode, Uten is gonna be telling us about her being a young mom. The challenges. I don't know, maybe the bullying. I don't know,
Yeah.
like the bullying and all of that. So yeah, man. I hope you guys enjoy, and now it's I hope you enjoy. And then getting into it. So we wanna know, Uguti, how is it being a young mom? Being pregnant at your teenagers, like how is it?
Okay. So I initially fell pregnant in matric.
Okay.
Yeah, I fell pregnant in matric. Obviously, by that time, I was in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was in a relationship. I have never done anything in that relationship to that man, right?
In what terms?
In terms of, I've heard that I was sort of manipulating him to stay with me.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never done that. I've always been a loving person. So I was
You
in
could
love with
see
that
from
man.
like the videos and the
Yeah,
pictures.
I was genuinely in love with this person, but obviously our breakup was something mutual.
Mm.
Yeah, it was long overdue. And being a teen mom, it's not as hard as people make it seem.
So basically, are you promoting it or
No,
you're not?
not at
Okay.
all. I wouldn't advise anyone to have a child at my age,
Okay.
because you still have your life out there, you still have your goals out there. And now I'm a child with a child.
Yeah.
You understand? So my childhood has basically been cut to adulthood. And that's where I sort of have to find balance. Yeah. That's how motherhood has been as a child.
Sure. Okay. And then challenges you've faced throughout your journey of being a mom, because as you mentioned what you're a student, how did you manage all of that? What's okay, now I'm a student, and because I've seen Uguti, I don't know what she is to you, but imagine Instagram yako pink.
She's my sister.
She's your sister, yeah,
Yeah.
because I could see my video and pictures with like she's been there for you.
Yeah, she's supportive.
Even though now you are phoned, but it seems like moye ukusiza kakhulu yabo.
Yeah.
So like challenges like you faced, because obviously now you have to go to school, now you have to take care of King Anish.
Yeah.
King, yeah, I
King.
have to
Yeah.
take care of King. How did you balance all of that?
Honestly, my support system. My parents were there from the very beginning. The day I told them, well, the day they found out that I
Oh,
was
they
pregnant.
found out.
My mom found out. Me and my mom found out on the same day. So, um, literally, it was my parents, my sister. They were there for me. My aunts were there for me. Like I've never knew how much my parents loved me until I was pregnant. Literally, I literally thought that I'm the least favorite child for the longest time. And only to realize that, you know what, maybe I am the favorite. Maybe, this was destined to happen to me. Obviously, the challenges I faced was the fact that I had to write my whole matric pregnant and heavily pregnant by that. And I had to sustain this image that, you know what, I can still get high marks. I can still pass this. I can still go to university with this child, you know? And I had a lot to prove because a lot of people were looking at me by that time. A lot of people were talking. I had bullies. I was being told things that, as a pregnant woman, you don't want to hear, basically. Um, I was told I'm a home wrecker. I was told all these things that basically made me feel like, you know what, wow, this is hard. But then because of my parents, because of my sisters, I was able to push through.
So then going back to what you just said, what you were a homewrecker, like by showing in what way?
There was assumptions. There were a lot of assumptions that apparently me being okay, I was actually very committed to this person to the point where I was engaged.
Okay.
Yeah, I was engaged, and apparently he had other children. So guys, he honestly, my son is the first child, right? I don't know who created the rumors that there were children before. There were no children before. My child was the first one. There are children after, but my child was the very first child that he had.
You know, but to Babaka King, I went like same primary.
Really, guys,
That's
guys.
crazy. And they're like, I'm not saying like like in Pila Pila you're wrong or something, but like in primary, like has to learn, like
Yeah.
but now you're born with like Manji is
Mm.
out there and all of that.
Genuinely, I won't even lie. Beginning of our relationship, he was a good person. I can attend to the fact that he was good to me. We were good to each other. It's only then when you put your relationship out there, people get in, there's temptations, all of that happened. And obviously, with all of that happening, I was naive. I didn't see through that. I didn't want to believe what was happening in my life, but I believed in marriage so much that I believed that no matter what we're going through, this person and I are going to make it through. Yeah.
Yeah. So if like you had a chance to fix things with
Oh hell no.
how why?
Oh hell no.
Okay, let's
No.
let's think of Uking right now.
Okay.
Like set aside your pride, everything. Would you go back for the sake of your child?
Where is he?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Yo?
Where is he in King's life?
Oh.
I basically I'm raising my son. So if he was if he was there for his child.
Then maybe.
No, no, definitely not. But I'd view him as a different person than I do now. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, then yeah, going back to your family and all. So, like, amongst your family, really, no one was like trash talking about you or anything. Like everyone was like, because
It was
obviously,
smooth.
for example, if your sister was to get pregnant right now,
Mm.
what do you think your parents would say?
Obviously, the same with me. They get disappointed, obviously. It's a disappointing thing for your child to fall pregnant. But give them like 3 days max.
3 days.
3 days max. They back to normal. You be talking. My dad actually is viewed as one of the most strict people. So obviously everyone that knows my father is like, shit, she's in trouble. But he was so supportive. He got me every craving that I ever had. He was calling me every day after work. You tell me, okay, what do you want before I come back home? Because I'm not coming out again. You know,
Wow.
my dad was genuinely there. He was the one that bought my son his first pair of socks and a t-shirt, literally.
Phew.
So my parents were very supportive. They've never used it against me.
Mm.
I was never told that, you see now, our image is ruined and stuff like that. Never. My mom used to post me pregnant. My dad used to post me pregnant. We were good. We were really good. And we're
Should
still
Jeba
really
vele
good.
accept and you know what? Like there's
Completely.
no going back. So
Yeah.
ukuthi sihlale like
Squatty.
squatile, yabo, there's no going back. Because at the end of the day, it's what, a nephew, niece,
No, to them it's their grandson.
or grandson.
Yeah.
So bayabona ukuthi okay,
Yeah, like
so what until when?
exactly. And they knew exactly what I was going through around that time.
Mm.
So they were just supportive because they could see that, okay, she's going through a lot
Mm.
and she's only young. Number one, she's very young and she's in matric. If we add more stress, will
Mm.
she even pass matric? You know, they thought about it in a way that would benefit me.
So currently vele your parents vele full out vele.
Yeah, that's their son.
And then so currently, since when are you studying, most of the time the side to usala nobody?
Okay, he has a nanny, but obviously
And that's
she.
all your cost.
Oh, no,
Oh, okay.
everything is on my parents. I don't want to lie. Literally, my parents are. It's their son. Like I said, like they don't call him grandson. He calls them mom and dad.
I
It's
was
mama
about to
and
ask
dada.
about that.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's mama and dada. I'm literally his sister.
Sister.
Yeah, I'm his sister. Yeah, he calls me mama here and there, but then like I know, I know who he really wants to call
And
mama.
like, does that ever get to you? It's okay, like, oh,
No,
this is my son, but
no,
not I'm born as if like I'm the mother.
no, because I feel like my mom is a way better mom than I could ever be.
Mm.
So even if he calls my mom mama until he's grown and he knows I'm his mom, that's okay with me. That's literally okay with me because it's about him growing up in a very healthy home
Mm.
and a very stable home. And I feel like with my parents, they have provided that for him, literally.
And then I know what you're not promoting like pregnancy and all of that, but then aside from you like being pregnant during like your teenage years, how would you say like pregnancy was to you? Like fairly, was it not? Because okay, there's the sicknesses and all of
No,
that. So like, how was it in terms of that? Like, how was it in
it was
general?
bad.
Aside from you being pregnant, like in your teenage years, how
It
like
was
how
bad. It was literally bad. It's the most painful thing.
you'd never
Literally,
do it again?
no. Like, no, why would I put myself through so much pain again?
Sure.
No,
Okay.
it's pain. Obviously, it's because I was still young.
Mm.
That's why I feel like I've experienced a lot. But like
So
I
no
can't
more.
believe people do that for like a living. Like why?
So no more second child, maybe on your 30s,
Maybe,
25.
maybe, maybe, but mm-mm. I don't think so right now. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Because like there's people like right now that are pregnant, and imagine maybe we have a two. So at least say something positive about it. At
A
least
senior child. That's the best part.
okay, let's leave that part. Like during the pregnancy.
During the
Yeah,
pregnancy,
what's positive about it?
the baby kicking. I don't
Oh.
know.
Okay.
I don't know. Like the baby kicking, obviously, the fact that you can create life,
Hmm.
knowing that you can create a whole human being that's gonna go out there, be something someday,
Hmm.
is nice. But other than that, like don't do that to yourself. Like why? Don't do that to women.
Hmm.
Don't. It's such a painful thing. Literally,
Oh.
it's painful. I don't want to lie. During, after, it's just a painful experience.
So like after very you see your baby, like you're like, whew.
No.
Okay, at least now, like I'm just speaking in terms like you being sick now and
Yeah,
then,
there
you.
you like, okay, at least like,
Mm,
okay, one half is done.
mm,
Yeah, now I'm left with the other half.
which is.
Raising your son, obviously,
Mm,
healing, because you have to heal a lot. And, just trying to be the best version of yourself for
mm,
that child.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then um, something I wanted to ask you, but now I forgot. I don't know if when there's something else, since my Instagram, there's something else you'd love to say while I think about what I wanted to ask you.
Well, I just want to put it out there that my business with my baby daddy
Mm.
is mine, you know? And I feel like whatever he does, whatever I do, people should remember that we're separated. We are not together. You do not have to screenshot send me stuff. You do not
People
have
do
to.
that,
Yeah, I've I've received so many things. Hey,
but why?
I don't know. I don't know why they're showing me because we're separated. I do know what he does.
Mm,
He knows what I do. You know, we know about each other. You know, and I do not hate him.
mm,
That's another thing. I do not hate him at all because hating him for me feels like I'll be hating my son as well
mm, mm,
because my son is a split image of his father. He
mm.
looks exactly like his father, and I have no hate in my heart for him at all. He's his own person. I'm my own person. We have different morals, obviously. He will get into his child's life when he wants to.
Will you allow him though?
I can't
Okay,
say no.
obviously not like this. Like have
Yeah,
it be like.
yeah. Obviously, you know, at the end of the day, I don't have the right to refuse because I don't
Mm,
want one day for my son to come up to me and say that
who's
I've
my
been,
dad or.
yeah, like you've been refusing for me to see my father and all of that, and me having this story to explain to him every time.
Mm, mm.
So I just, yeah, whenever he feels like it's sharp.
Yeah, the question I want to ask is like your whole pregnancy. Would you say it was planned or it just happened with Jay? Obvious, okay. Maybe there was maybe conversations there and there. It's okay, maybe I should have a child. Okay, like all relationships are like that.
Yeah,
But then would you say yours was planned, but not for like that time, or how did it exactly happen?
I'd say that, you know, our relationship was failing.
Mm,
And it felt like when we found out we were pregnant, we felt like that was
the
our
end.
solution.
Sure.
That was like how we're going to put through with that relationship. So was it planned? I don't know. I don't, was it? I don't know. I literally don't know. But I feel like I'd never say my child was unexpected.
Mm,
Yeah, I we knew.
mm.
We knew exactly what was going on the whole time.
Sure. Okay, and then because I've seen go since you spoke about healing and stuff, your journey of healing, how was it? Because I see go to you also go to the gym and all of that.
Hmm.
Would you say that also that's also part of like your healing journey and all that, or just going to the gym just because you
No,
want that nice body and all of that?
no. Actually, I started the gym because I was shamed.
Mm,
During my relationship, I lost a lot of weight, and I was known all my life. I've always been like big,
mm, mm,
and then
yeah.
all of a sudden now I'm very.
I remember in high school where you had like you
Yeah, I
were.
was big.
Mm,
Now all of a sudden, like I'm just this tiny, tiny person, and I wasn't okay with the comments I've heard about myself.
mm,
That was basically just me getting my self confidence back. And my healing journey, basically, I left Joburg when my son was 2 months. So
and your parents actually allowed you like, Azanke, but okay, just stay for. Yo. Guys, I feel like it's nice to have such parents in some way,
Mm.
but at the same time, like, don't do it.
Yeah, like honestly, my dad is someone that's very educated.
Mm,
So it was no question that I'm going to varsity. Like that was like a must happen. I was actually supposed to give birth end of Jan, and I was still gonna go to varsity. Regardless of when I gave birth, I was
mm,
still going to go to school because he's that educated and he wants all his kids to be educated, obviously. So my healing journey actually started in Joburg. I won't lie.
mm,
Like when I was still here, I was in denial of everything that was happening. But once I got out there, I met really good people, and man, I just found a family in Joburg.
mm, mm,
Yeah, and people that understood my situation and basically helped me through it in
mm.
ways that I never thought I'd heal. Literally.
So, like, let's say you're in Joburg and you're having conversation. Do you like pop up the thing of would see, okay, I actually have a child, or you just keep quiet and let people find out on their own?
The
Because obviously I
first,
know you're not ashamed of the child, but it's not
yeah,
a matter of it's okay, you should go have a child, I have
yeah,
a child.
yeah.
Like, how do you deal with that?
Okay, so I'm honest, So like friendship, anything that I've been involved in, the first thing I will tell you is that, I have a son.
Mm,
Right? Even though I don't show you who my son is, even though I don't touch into that subject,
mm.
I just need you to know I have a son.
Because it is important, because you'll
Yeah.
have conversation where maybe they bashing people with kids,
Yeah.
and when you're
Yeah.
still quiet, it's okay.
Yeah,
um
obviously.
mm,
So I definitely told them, my friends,
mm.
that I have a son. My son came over and they
Oh.
actually came to come see him.
Mm.
So it's okay. They're
so
not bad
So
people.
basically, since that's Joburg is nice, if you had like a chance really to move permanent to that side, you'd stay there because of like the energy people are giving you, or you want to be this side. Because I feel like most of the hate is from this side,
Yeah.
from Witbank,
Yeah,
because
definitely.
a lot of people know, like,
Mm.
okay, you went to the school, like
Mm.
they have the idea of who Thendo is.
Yeah.
And at that side, everyone is that side meant to
It's blank.
study, like
Yeah,
everyone
like
is there
nobody
to have,
cares.
yeah, everyone is.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm asking, would, if you had a chance, would you like move, okay, take your parents with, would you
No.
move that side permanently?
No. Um Crazy enough, I do not want to live in Joburg. I do not want to live in Woodbank.
Sure, okay.
I just want, I don't want anywhere I've studied. I want to start my life afresh.
Hmm,
Every time I feel like I have errors in my life. I have sections for my life.
hmm,
And I cannot build an empire where I had the worst moments.
hmm.
So obviously I'll live somewhere else, man. I would
So
live in
Cape
Joburg.
Town,
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe like definitely not Joburg. Definitely not Joburg.
And then a question that maybe you'd love most people to stop asking you. Actually, and
Who's
like
your
it's,
baby daddy?
but
Literally.
man, like I feel like most people know. Just net maba. If like people know where it all started, like
Yeah.
me, I know where it all
Yeah.
started. Then I know.
Yeah,
But
Gucci.
then, yeah, man. I think let's
No.
say 50% no, 50%
Said
of your followers
yeah,
no.
no. And
Hmm.
then the other don't. And I will never answer that question. Personally, I would never say his name out.
Hmm.
That's one thing I've promised myself, that no matter what, I'll never say his name. You know, I'll never breathe in his direction.
Mara, like when you speak about him, it really seems like you hate him.
I don't. That's the thing. Like, if I was to see him in public, mind you, this person lives in Joburg. I live in Joburg.
But Joey is big, so I believe what you hardly
You'd be shocked. You'd be shocked. I've seen him a couple of times. He's seen me a couple of times, and we greet each other.
hmm,
It's not a thing of, I'm gonna bash
or
him.
pass
Yeah,
each
I'm
other
pausing.
like,
I will say hi. He will say hi, but then that's it.
no conversation,
No,
nothing.
he'll say hi. I'll say hi. go your
Do
way,
you
I'll
think
go
if
my
you
way.
guys were to have like conversation, maybe you guys would start like fighting and all of that? Maybe now you'll start raising the points of it, okay, why aren't you there for your son and all of that?
You know what?
Do you have questions like, it's okay, why? Why? Because from my family side, they have accepted. So why don't you come up and like be there for your son?
I know why. That's the thing. So every question that I have, I know the answer to.
Yeah?
You see, so honestly, I'm not one to pressurize him to be there and stuff like that. I feel like our son will see, you know, our son will see who was there from the get go and who wasn't, and me allowing everything to happen is not because like I fear this person or I hate this person or anything like that. No, it's because I'm respecting myself, number one. I'm respecting my son. Me hating his father won't do him justice. Me talking bad about his father won't do him justice either. It might turn around and look as if I'm the bad person.
Yeah.
So in situations like that, you have to stop thinking about like what the person has done to you and start looking at how this would impact my son. So that's why I'll never say anything bad. I will never say his name. I'll just let everything be as it is.
So aside from people asking you who's the dad, what else? Because I believe it does more than just
Yeah, a lot of people have asked me about the second child and how I'm I'm
but
I'm
how
okay.
does that concern you? Because then you don't know anything about that.
The thing is like how me and the mother of the second child started talking is weird. You know, she contacted me. She told me that she's pregnant by the same person and she needs my help.
As-
And obviously at that time I was still mad. I was still like, how dare you? How dare you? I was pregnant when you got pregnant. How dare you? You know? But at the end of the day, I have nothing against the child. The child is a beautiful baby girl and I'm one person that I believe that most people with bank in the world, we come from families where you have a half sibling or you have another sibling somewhere, so who am I to start judging now that I'm in that situation? I will gladly, one day when I'm ready, I will gladly let my son meet his sister. I'll gladly let him be a big brother. Literally, I have nothing against the mother and the daughter because at the end of the day, they didn't do me wrong. They owed me no loyalty at all. The problem was what happened. Obviously, I was pregnant. I was in a relationship with this person. This person went out.
Oh, it was during.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo.
And I only found out when I got to Joburg. I never knew anything. Literally, I didn't know any of this.
So is the father there for the other child? Do you think he's there for the other child?
I don't know.
And you don't care?
Yeah.
Not in a bad way,
Yeah,
but
I don't
that
care
doesn't
because
really concern you.
yeah,
Let's see.
because my son is well taken care of. Why should I be jealous or like forcing this person to do things for my son? He'll do it with a bitter heart if I force him. You know what I mean? So he has to do things when he wants to, when he feels it's right for him. So whether he takes care of his other child, that's none of my concern.
So let's say your parents went there for you or for King. Do you think you would be still speaking with the father or begging him to like, okay, just contribute in some
Nah,
way? Or so how
nah.
are you gonna deal with that?
I was gonna make it out like I always do. So I'm one person. I don't beg. I won't beg you to be in my life. I won't beg you to be in my son's life. So if I know that I conceived this baby alone, Ne? I went there, I gave birth alone. I was alone in that hospital bed. Why should I beg you now? Why?
Yeah, man.
Why?
Because I'm sure he will watch this. If he
And that's
does,
okay.
yeah, like, because you're not saying anything bad about him or
Yeah,
something, but Omar, it's sad.
I was
Because at
alone.
least be there on that day, at least. That would have counted, maybe.
Would
Somehow.
it?
I don't
Would
know.
it? Because I feel like by the time I gave birth, it
So
was
things
rushed.
were already bad by then, or just.
No, I feel like we had a lot of breakups in my pregnancy. So I feel like we had just fixed things and we were finally coming to common ground. And obviously around that time, I didn't know I'm giving birth that day. Nobody knew. My parents were out of town. My sisters were out of town. I was alone in that house. So do I blame him for not being by the hospital bed? No. My parents went there. My sisters went there. You know, they were out of town, literally out of the province actually. So like I couldn't blame anyone for not being there. Literally. I had to go through everything alone.
This sounds like a nightmare. You can
It
imagine.
was. It was. Because I stayed home because I had COVID. Yeah, so obviously I was at home because I had COVID, and obviously they were coming back the next day. So in my head, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take care of myself. I'm okay, you know. But he decided otherwise. Yeah, my son decided otherwise.
So those are the only two questions that you'd love people to stop us at the moment, or
Yeah, like don't ask who's my baby daddy. Do not ask.
what the mother of the other
Yeah,
child.
don't. Yeah, just know that I am a mom. I'm a single mom, and I'm okay with that. I'm genuinely fine with that.
And then let's speak about like your son's names. Like, how did they all like come about? Like, yeah, Jay.
Okay. So my son's names were actually we changed it last minute because his names were Tandolwetsu Keith, you know. And when I looked at my situation and all of that, I had a lot of accepting to do. You know, I had to accept a lot. I had to accept that people are gonna talk. I had to accept that I'm pregnant, I'm a trick. There was a lot to accept. So accepting my baby basically created his name.
Yeah, now looking at the story, now I can
Yeah,
picture
I
it.
had to accept a lot. So that's how Amkhilang came about. And the king name came from his father. I let his father name him.
That's actually so nice of you.
Yeah, I let I let him name him King, and he said like my son's name is King, and I said okay. And the third name actually came from my father. So my father, as far as he was on the day I gave birth, he rushed, and he was the only one. They were at two different places, him and my mom. So he rushed. He could drive because my mom can't see at night. Obviously, she can't drive. So my dad came, and I was there by the hospital bed. Obviously, he couldn't see me. So my gynae is actually Molokhari's mom.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's how my dad was allowed to come see me for like a few minutes. And the first thing he said, he was like, "Your son is our savior." And he translated it in Venda and said, "Your son's name is Michiti." And that's how the third name came about.
okay. Oh, that's a really nice story.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
really nice story. And then out of like, okay, before we started shooting, you said you only have a few friends, but then out of like all your friends, who would you love like to give a big shout out to? A person that has been there for you, person that has never even judged you, oh, it's okay, you're pregnant, a person that loves your son, like DJ, who would it be?
It's not one person.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
The first person I'd like to thank with everything in me was is Ayanda Tonzi.
Okay.
Yeah, she was the very first person to know I was pregnant. She was the very first person to know that I'm giving birth on the day that I was giving birth. She was there for me at school. Like she's tiny and she would like go with my bag. She'd sit with me every time. She'd
Mm,
hear me when I cry. She was genuinely there for my whole pregnancy.
mm.
And she was one of the people that were planning my baby shower.
Wow.
Yeah, it
Mm,
didn't happen. Obviously, I gave birth before it,
mm.
but she was one of the people that were planning it with my parents. And another person that I would love to thank is Ompile. She's from Joburg.
Okay.
Yeah, she was there. I met her in class the first day, first I think the first week actually. She was there. Hey, she's heard my cry.
Mm,
She's seen the pain I've gone through. Her and her mom video call me every time I'm at home just to say hi
mm,
to my baby. Her mom comes to Joburg to my place. Yeah, she's come to my place to say hi to me. She's really been there for me.
mm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Those
shout out
two.
to them.
Yeah.
Currently, I just know Ayana, but shout out to Ompile as well
Mm.
for being with you throughout this
Yeah.
whole journey and all of that. And then yeah, man, I think from my side, that's all I had for you. I don't know, good
Thank you.
from your side.
That's all.
That's all. So you
Yeah.
fine now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm
You're
fine.
fine now.
Yeah.
Because I believe with maybe a lot of people had questions about it. Do you still speak with King's father?
No.
What's
Like the answer to that is no.
guys? It's no. Please
Yeah, I
stop asking
don't.
that.
Yeah, don't ask that. No,
Uh,
I
I
don't.
don't know what else. Yeah, I think people are most concerned about the
Yeah,
father. I
the
don't know
father.
why,
Yeah.
because I believe there's not a lot of people who are asking about like, how are you?
Yeah,
Like,
nobody
how are
cares.
you? Are you healing?
Nobody cares
One
about that
just wants to
stuff.
know what's okay.
How?
Where's the father? Who's the
And I'm
father?
like,
It's never
dude,
a matter of like, how are you, Tendo? Like, how are
mm,
you mentally?
how
How
are
are
you
you?
coping?
Yeah.
It's
Mm,
never been any of that. Half of these people don't even know what I'm studying. Half of these people don't even know what I've got planned for my life, but they want to know about my baby daddy. Like, what gives you the right?
mm.
Yeah, what gives you the right? Literally.
Yeah, okay. Now, from my side, I said, Wuti, that's all I had for you. But
Okay.
then, just to wrap it up, what's a motto that keeps Utendo going every day? A motto that you live by that keeps you going.
Okay.
What's okay? If I maybe remember this quote or whatever, I know what's
Mm.
okay. I'm gonna be fine. I'll just calm down.
Mm-hmm. So it's actually a verse.
Or a verse, okay.
Yeah, it's Micah 7 verse 8, and it
Mm,
basically says that although I fall, I will rise again.
mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm,
So every time I'm down, I know that I'm gonna make it through.
mm.
Yeah.
All right, now, thank you for coming through.
It's a
Hopefully
pleasure.
you enjoy. I don't know what to maybe you enjoyed that man because there's a lot of things that you wanted to speak,
Yeah.
but maybe you didn't have that platform to actually speak about it because maybe I'm alive don't really do
Yeah,
justice for
just
you
the
and all of
same one.
that.
Yeah.
So hopefully, man, you are fine. And if there's something else you want to speak about someday, just know
Hmm.
what I'm a phone call away.
Thank
You
you.
have my number now. So, anytime you want to speak about something or you feel like there's something else you haven't spoke about, feel free.
Hmm.
I'll try by all means to make a part two for you
Thank you.
anytime. But then, yeah, man, from my side, I think that's all. And hopefully, people have their answers
Yeah,
now. Tendo doesn't
finally.
speak to the father, doesn't know where he is currently, and I believe what you don't speak even on like app
No,
or
we don't.
Instagram or
We
anything. So
don't.
please stop asking Tim
Yeah, like
about that because I believe now it's really overwhelming and all of
yeah,
that.
it's annoying.
Mm.
Mm.
But then yeah, man, thank you for coming through. A big shout out
Okay.
for you, man. To you, Woody, you were able to actually go back to school. Abanye bebayothi, "Ay, mina,
Yeah.
yabo." But
Mm-hmm.
then because you actually knew it's okay, man, I actually wanna
Yeah.
carry on with my life.
Mm.
This baby can't be a
The end
setback
of
for
me.
me or
Yeah.
something. So yeah, man, a big shout out.
Thank you.
Hopefully, let me not say people that are pregnant right now, but people nje, that are planning on pregnancy. Hopefully, man, you have everything figured out. If I can say that,
Yeah.
you have
And
everything
it's
figured.
okay.
Yeah, you have like everything figured out. And would you say they shouldn't be afraid to tell their parents or what? Because your
Thing
your
is,
your side, it was like smooth,
no, I was afraid.
Mm.
But I didn't tell my parents. That's the thing. I never got the chance to.
But for someone out there, do you suggest they actually tell them, or they should
Yeah,
also?
definitely. You need the support.
Mm.
You need someone there for you. Literally. So just tell them, yeah, they're gonna be mad, but yeah, they'll Shabazalwa got forever, you know.
Yeah, but yeah, man, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you, Thendo, for coming
It's a
through.
pleasure.
Hopefully, guys, you enjoyed. Yeah, man, we'll meet on the next one.